this whole path of, awakening, enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, truth realization, self-realization, ultimately, it's about sitting with yourself, knowing yourself, right? Self-realization, knowing yourself, being very intimate with yourself, this whole experience, what's going on here for you. And you see, it's like when people are on this spiritual path, they do everything but look at themselves. They're trying to, I'm just making a broad generalization here, but like how many of us think enlightenment or, the spiritual goodies that we're all looking for is somehow out there in the future, somewhere out of reach in the outside world, something that we're gonna get out there, and we're going away from ourselves, away. Here's me, and I'm gonna search enlightenment out there. I'm gonna get awakening. I'm reaching out for something, reaching out to get. I'm going to attain this. Here I go, to get this out here. Whatever it is for our spiritual life. What are we trying to get? But what you're looking for is closer than close. So close. Like an eye that can't see itself. Or like the tip of this finger can't touch the tip of this finger because it is the tip of this finger. That's what you're looking for. And of course, you don't have to look anywhere because it's right here. And so why, right? Why do we go looking out there? Why are we not? Just self, here I am. What I think is that we are afraid to face ourselves, afraid to sit down with ourselves. And why? Why are we afraid? I think we're afraid because we have so much bottled up pain and hurt within us that when you sit down, be intimate with yourself and to just be yourself, to look at yourself truthfully, open up to yourself truthfully. When you sit down and open up to yourself, with yourself, as yourself, then there's going to be a lot of pain there, I think. Because life is challenging, man. We go through life. We have all these injustices that we experience and all these losses. Everything, a lot of what we love and value, we lose, it changes, it goes away. But this modern culture is keep on top of things, keep going. You don't have time to grieve. Oh, someone that you love died. Okay, grieve for a little while, but then keep going. And it's we don't. And we find it hard to open up to ourselves. We find it hard to open up with ourselves. When we sit down, we're scared to invite that hurt. We're scared to welcome it and experience it, to love it. We have all these mechanisms in the mind that protect us from feeling that way, that stop us from feeling that way, because we don't want to feel the pain. I think, that all these different, like, quote unquote negative emotions that we have are all off branches of the root emotion, which is hurt. Right? Why do you feel frustrated, angry, depressed, anxious, all this kind of stuff? Because when you sit down with yourself and be like, okay, I'm gonna be with myself, this is a common problem that anyone has when they begin to meditate. It's like, okay, I'm gonna try and meditate, and you're swayed by all the thoughts, you're swept up by all the thoughts and the emotions. It's like, I'm feeling frustrated, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling bad, and you're thinking about all this stuff, and it's like, my mind's so agitated, and it's like, it's so hard, And I think that all these negative emotions is the way our mind protects ourselves from feeling the root of all these emotions, which is the hurt. We don't want to admit to ourselves that we're hurt, because that's what destroys our identity. See, all the frustrations that we have, all the anxiety that we have, all of that, that is like our framework. That is what our identity is built of. And our worldview, what we think reality is. When you feel into the hurt, you cry, you grieve. And what are you grieving? You're grieving the illusion of who you imagine yourself to be and what you imagine reality to be. But when you grieve, you let your heart break wide open, and you enter into true love, and you enter into truth and freedom. I think crying and grieving is a beautiful thing. It's so beautiful, man. So beautiful. Why is it beautiful? Because it shows you how much you care, how much love you have inside of yourself. Of course you want your illusions to stick around. Of course you want the love that you experience to stick around. You don't want to lose that. You don't want things to change. Of course you're attached to things. Like, it's okay. Spirituality has us believe that we've got to let go of attachments. And we've I've got to be a good spiritual person and let go of my attachments. It's understandable you got attachments. Of course you've got attachments. Of course you're attached. Because you love, because you care. The only way to let go of attachments is to grieve the death of them, to grieve the death of what you're attached to. Ache with care. See, the path of awakening is not a walk in the park. Sure, you can have mystical experiences, but that's a byproduct of letting go of things, of shedding layers of identities. And it's not always a byproduct of that. Sometimes the byproduct of shedding identities is pain, grief, right? But it depends, sometimes, you shed a layer of your identity that was holding you back so much, that was causing you a lot of suffering. And you start to see that it's like, okay, I can actually let this go. I can step outside of it. And it's like you're free. And it's like, oh, okay, wow, have this mystical experience or whatever. Other times, you're attached to some part of your identity. When you're losing that, yeah, of course you're gonna grieve. It's gonna be painful. And so, yeah, the path of awakening, man. See, mystical experiences, feeling bliss, feeling blissed out, high and all that, it's not the goal. It's experiences, energetic experiences that happen. But ultimately, when you go through it, when you keep letting go of layers and layers, yeah, every time you let go of a layer of your identity, you're going to experience some kind of energetic shift, good or bad. But when all is said and done, you're going to just return back to just peace, just, like nothing's really ever changed, because your natural state has been here all the time anyway. Even if you feel like you are this person, this whatever you're identifying with, or what you think reality's always been here anyway. So nothing really actually changes. You're just letting go of the false. And it's just, there's this quote, I think, by Buddha. He said, truly through absolute enlightenment, what did he say? Like, truly through attaining absolute enlightenment, I have attained nothing. Something like that, So what is your spiritual life about? Is it about mystical experiences, spiritual experiences, getting the goodies, the good experiences? Experiences come and go, man. Like every experience comes and goes, even the spiritual ones, even the whacked out mystical states you get into. They come and go. What is prior to coming and going? What is here, always, now? So what do you want in life? What do you want for your spiritual life? Is it about chasing these states of consciousness? Nothing wrong with that. I mean, mystical states of, altered states of consciousness that are spiritual and shit. Fucking great, man. Great experiences. But they're experiences. They come and go. If you want awakening, what is awakening? It's seeking the truth. Of who you are. So start with yourself. And look at yourself. Be with yourself. This takes courage, and this world doesn't acknowledge this endeavor, which is unfortunate, because you could be sat there doing a whole lot of work, being very courageous, and what are people going to do? They're just going to perceive you as lazy, doing nothing, when you're doing some deep spiritual work, sitting on your bedroom floor, looking at yourself honestly. People don't acknowledge that. It's unfortunate, but look, man, there are people out there that understand you. Look, I understand you. If you're sitting on your bedroom floor inquiring into who you really are, the truth of who you are, into the nature of yourself and existence, I see you. I acknowledge that, I acknowledge that as worthwhile, courageous, So just know that there are people out there that get it, you know, but nevertheless, it's hard still. So, you know, if you're suffering, I think it's because you're afraid to be with yourself and tune into the hurt within you. And we have a lot of cultural beliefs that have been programmed into us that prevent us from really looking at ourselves and being with ourselves, feeling into that hurt. A lot of cultural judgments that have been put into our mind that prevent us from doing that. And look around you, man. Most people are suffering. Not many people make it a mission to end the majority of their suffering, like with actual effectiveness, and, you know, not just like putting a band-aid on a wound or putting lipstick on a pig, but getting to the root of the suffering. Why do you suffer? So I hope this video was helpful for you. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments, and please give this video a like and subscribe if it helped you out. That helps me. And come check out my new book that I've written, Beneath Belief, Existential Inquiries for Truth Realization. That might help you out with what I'm talking about here. And thank you for your time. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.